Hey, welcome to Let's Talk Nation. I'm your man, Rod Love. And yes, Attorney Greg Jackson, the General, is on special assignment tonight. And guess what? We have the opportunity, we got the luxury of having the wonderful Miss Sheryl Walker in studio tonight.
In honor of Greg's absence, let me.
Oh, in honor of Greg, hey, that's right. In honor of the General, hey, you tuning in to Let's Talk Nation, and because Greg is not here to do it, I guess I got to do it. Hey, for those of you who are tuned in tonight, you're listening to the two most distinguished, and we're going to make your IQ go up. I can't say it like Greg do, but we're going to make that IQ go up by at least 20%. But welcome to Let's Talk Nation tonight. And for those of you who paying particular attention, no, that's 6-0. Don't get it twisted. It ain't because it's me. No. You know what? You got me. Hey, this is a Let's Talk Nation special edition with our guest host. And yeah, most of you have seen Miss Sheryl here before. She does a fantastic job. But tonight, we're going to celebrate her birthday, which, hey, you say everybody's kind of confused, right?
Yes.
They're confused about what?
The actual day is tomorrow, but they got confused because the air date is now.
You broadcasting now.
It is actually tomorrow, folks, but thank you for the early birthday wishes.
Hey, we're going to do it right. We're going to do it right. Hey, but once again, this is Sheryl's. Hey, we're going to celebrate it like the birthday is today. But once again, happy pre-birthday to Miss Sheryl.
Thank you.
From Let's Talk Nation. Mondo, where those applause at? Where those applause? Where all them horns? Where the horns at? All that technology him and Doc got? There you go. Well, Miss Sheryl, we're in for a great evening. We also started a half an hour early, but just for you.
Thank you.
Just for you. Hey, before we get into it, you about to go into a new chapter tomorrow, and I already told you, you're making them 25-year-olds say, you're making them hate on you right now. But in your journey, and you and I have been knowing each other, man, how long?
30 years?
Don't say 30, because they looking over there, and then they looking back over here and say, I see what 30 did to him.
It was actually probably a little longer than
Oh,
that.
come on now.
But
All right. Hey, moving on. I'm gonna do like the Jeffersons. I'm gonna move on. But you know what? It gives me pride to have known you for as long as we've known each other, and I've seen you navigate. I've seen the success that you've been realizing. And sure, hey, for those of you who don't know, this Doc Polite was saying she used to model. No, she still models.
Well, I appreciate that. I think the biggest challenge I had to navigate is not only my 60th birthday, but it's my 25th year as a breast cancer survivor.
Oh man, praise God.
All in the same, they told me you count from your radiation or your chemo month, so then that would have been September.
Man,
Yeah.
Lord has been good.
All the
Lord
time.
has been good.
All the time.
So in your journey, and I mean tonight we're gonna talk about the stuff you and I talk about all the time.
Yep.
Life, politics, business, and we also are, let's just call it constructively critical of things that take place too.
Yeah.
But hey, what's some of the big things that's about to take place here in the next few weeks?
Speaking of that, for all of you out there that know me, link is on my page. Today, here in this county, it's early voting.
Early voting.
And I'm going tomorrow with, see
You
this
bought
right
all
here?
your equipment. You bought everything in
See
here.
this right here? This is your sample ballot. This is your syllabus and your cheat sheet. You look up everything else. So no excuse. You should be
Man,
looking up your cat.
You did that like bam.
The candidates. It's by, you know your district, your polling precinct, all those good
You know, that's really important.
Now, the font is a little small, this is cycle, but just break out your readers and your magnifying glass.
You go to the dollar store and get a magnifying glass for $1.25.
Scratch it on my age and get to get it.
And while that's unique to Orange County, everybody should have one of those right now.
Correct.
Everybody should have one.
Correct. So, early voting.
Hey,
Early vote.
you know what, Michelle? You and I, we were talking about this in our show prep. Voter turnout has been low when we've been looking at some of the local races, but in presidential races, supposedly voter turnout is supposed to be higher.
Or allegedly.
Allegedly.
Record number. Let me just go for Orange County's edges for just a second.
Okay.
Because our numbers are historically not even in the double digits. And that's every cycle. That's not even, I mean, you know, you got your primaries and your midterms, but I don't understand, and you can call in 321-483-7002 and tell Rod and I why you think that is. And, well, first, comment on, do you participate in early voting? Because you have ways to do it. You know, you can go in person,
Mail-in ballot.
mail-in, and you're absentee. And I think cutoff for absentee has already.
Oh, it's already, yeah.
Passed.
Yeah, that's already passed.
So, 2 now. But nevertheless, I'd like to hear why the good folks out in this county can't seem to reach 10% even. If you put it in this context, when you don't participate at all, you're allowing everybody else in the collective small percentage to decide
For you. You're right.
So out of 100% pie, if only 10% are voting, the 10% are who are orchestrating what we're governed by until the next election cycle, or whenever the, term is up.
Do you
for them.
realize what you're saying? That small percent that goes to vote are the ones that's deciding when your trash is picked up.
Right.
They're deciding laws that are made. They're deciding ordinance. They're making major decisions for the masses.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
that small percentage. But we were talking to our executive producer before we came on air, and of course he wants to hit us with some information. It's good information. The primary reason most Americans don't vote can be attributed to a variety of factors, but the most common factor include a sense of, and this is the word that kind of threw me, delusionalment, or apathy. And I mean, that's something we were talking about.
Yeah. Being apathetic.
Just not interested.
At all. And I've heard people, saw someone online say she wasn't voting at all. And I think part of fundamentally why I have a problem with that is it's not just the presidential election.
You're right.
You have your county to think of. What
Okay, but what were you saying, Sheryl?
What I think people miss is your local elections are the foundation of everything else. Because what do we always say? Politics trickle up,
You're right.
not down. So everything you do at this level, I mean, these are the people who continue to go on and escalate into their political careers at this level.
And that goes back to when people talk about all politics is local. What affects you the most and the fastest is those laws that are put into place that are directly impacting your community. We have to wait a while to see what takes place at the federal level. I mean, it affects us, yes, but local politics touches you far quicker.
Right.
So, you know what? Here's what I want to do. I want to take a quick station break because we have people that want to celebrate your birthday. We want to talk serious politics. We want to talk business. But you know what? You are reaching a milestone that for those of us, and it's a lot of us that love you, We want to celebrate this. So we want to take a quick pause, and we'll be right back on Let's Talk Nation with our guest host, Ms. Sheryl Walker.
They break, I fix. Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, Jaguars and Porsche. Joe's Quality Auto Repair. I specialize in European cars. They break, I fix at Joe's European Quality Auto Repair. Located at 1240 State Road 436 in Altamont Springs. They break, I fix. Call me, mention Let's Talk Nation and bring your certified dealership repair quote. And I beat by 30%. Remember, they break, I fix. Call me at Joe's European Quality Auto Repair at 407-409-6040. Again, 407-409-6040. After they break, I fix. Joe's European Quality Auto Repair.
Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Nation. I'm your man, Rod Love, and as everybody knows, we have a special guest in the studio with us. She's celebrating a milestone tomorrow, but we're jumping in tonight to do it. And man, we just got a lot of things going on. Hey, let me just go ahead and let everybody know. Joe's European Auto Repair, you tell him that you listen to Let's Talk Nation, and he's going to give you a 30% discount. And call Rod Love if he doesn't give you that 30% discount. Hey, we're happy to have Miss Jennifer in the studio with us. With applause for Miss Jennifer. There you go. There you go. Hey, Miss Jennifer, thank you for coming. But you did something. Was it a week ago? Time just go. No,
it was actually 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 Fridays ago.
And what you did was amazing. It was extraordinary. And everybody's like, "What did she do?" Well, give me a minute. Give me a minute. But you planned an event for the Florida Economic Consortium. I love everything. You took all the stress off me, and that event was the Black Man documentary at the Orlando Museum of Art. And Sheryl, when I tell you, this woman took care of everything. I know she was tired of me. I know she was tired of me.
That's why I'm saying kudos to
Hey, because when she went to pay for stuff, I do just like I do my daughters. Put my hand out. Let me get my change. Let me get my change.
And we made sure he got all his coins back.
And I got all my. Hey, but I tell you, she was so fantastic at what she does. The company is the Eloise. Come on.
The Jocelyn Eloise Company.
Eloise. How do people get a hold of you so that you can do event management planning for them?
It's the name of the company.
Look at that camera with the red dot on it.
With the red dot. Okay, so it's the Jocelyn Eloise Company.com. So it's exactly what the name is. You can Google us, we'll pop up. You can go into Instagram and find us, or even Facebook.
Okay, if you would do this for me as well. See, she knows all this stuff because she's a brand ambassador, and you know they have money to get event management companies. Me, not so much, but so that people can understand the headaches that you saved me. Break that thing down, because every time you called me, I told you. What did I tell you every time you called me?
This is Sammy Davis Jr.'s brother. We call him Sammy the Third.
And that was because, man, I watch all those coins and I squeeze something out of a penny, but people don't realize what you did and how you navigated. Let people know things from the sound system to the food to the entertainment. Come on, how you doing your job,
I think a lot of people that plan events, they know all the details that go behind it, and the devil's in the details, bottom line. So for us, we break everything down in layers. So I got my start doing weddings, and I already hit my 300th plus wedding. So by that time, you understand all of the levels and all the details for a special day that you have only one time to get it right. So if you can do weddings, you can go and almost plan just about anything because you know about the details. So I think what makes our company very unique is that I do have that, but I also have a very strong business background. So what's made my company more of a niche event management company is that we only work, well, I should say we only, but our preferred client, or the client that gets attracted to us, are clients that actually have some type of a cause, a message, something that they're trying to actually have their audience to do. They're trying to get content out to their current audience or trying to reach a bigger audience. So we measure our success by helping our clients get their content out to their desired
Nice.
target audience. So our tagline is, we are beyond cocktails and appetizers. So we can get the cocktails and
Yeah.
appetizers out. We know how to serve it up. I know how to throw a party. We can throw a party, but
Hint.
but really and truly, we have taken all of the knowledge that we have. I have wonderful partners that I actually bring on contract-wise.
Mm-hmm.
We have wonderful vendors, and a shout out for the vendors that did come out to the event for you.
You know 'em.
I've got to
You
call their names
call their
out
names, call
because
their names.
I had to write them down. But Mix Masters, that was Mike. Impact Sound System, that was Hugo. Ole's Catering, you can never go wrong with their
Clover?
food. Clover.
Yes.
And YC Media, that was Cause, and I'm so excited to see what comes from that. And then we had none other than Jared Armstrong, who
Nice.
performed for us, and I'm actually going to see Jared tomorrow at Judson Green. He's going to be at
Oh,
Judson's
wow.
place
Okay.
at the Dr. Phillips. So yes, we had, I think, an amazing group of vendors that were very committed, and I think that's the one thing that we are known for. We really do vet the vendors that we work with, and we try to find the right vendors for our clients. So we do have a variety of vendors. People ask, don't you have the same people that you call on? I was like, no, because our clients vary.
Yeah.
And so what
Right.
they're looking for, our job is to make sure that we do a match.
Well,
That
tell you what,
makes sense.
once again, I can't express enough. You did a fantastic job. I know you also do a lot of the woo, and people are like, what's the woo? Women of Atlanta.
Well, I'm not even going to take credit for Woo. Monique Nichols has an amazing Woo team.
Yes.
Every once in a while, you may see me come in and out doing some things, but shout out to Monique's Woo team. They do an amazing job. Woo stands for Women of Orlando,
Yes.
and it is a motivational luncheon that started off maybe with, I want to say maybe 100 women,
Mhm.
and we have, or she has grown to over 500 plus people. We were in 2 ballrooms at the Rosen this year, and so it's just expanding, and it expands to a weekend. So it's
Pink in the park.
growing.
Pink in the park.
She did Pink in the Park. That was her commitment to addressing and acknowledging women that are survivors of breast cancer.
Hey, to your, back to you. Being a survivor. Jennifer, I got to tell you, my friend sitting next to me has a lot of history, and she wants to tell. I was saying 30 years. She's like, oh, Rod, actually, we've known each other longer than that. But she is a survivor.
Wow, congratulations.
But she is also somebody out in the community when it comes to having business conversations, when it comes to being positive from a critical standpoint. She'd be like, hey, Rod, come, let me tell you how you can do that. But you got to have people like that in your life.
You do.
So let me throw this at you. This is about celebrating.
Okay.
So I want to put you on the spot because we're going to keep this thing going.
Oh my.
This birthday wish
Okay.
for my good friend Sheryl.
Okay.
If you had to extend a birthday wish, what would it be?
Well, if I had to extend a birthday wish to you, because I've seen you from afar, so I'm really excited to actually get to meet you in person, I would extend a birthday wish for you to not only do what you're doing today, but to continue to do it for all the years to come. For you to always make sure that you stay in purpose and on purpose, because there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing.
I
And so it's
receive
not
that.
just for yourself, but they're for all the people who not only know you directly, but for those who you share spaces with.
Right.
You're impacting people. So you know what? Happy birthday and happy continuing
Wow,
to
wow.
impact more people.
Wow.
Yeah.
For the person that comes up next, that's going to be hard to beat. That's going to be hard to beat. But you know what? Here's how we're going to transition this. We're going to rotate the celebratory, but we're also going to stick to business. And before you leave, you were talking about, you were holding up this ballot earlier. Can you show Jennifer that?
I got mine on Saturday, and I do need a magnifying glass.
Okay.
And I
so
wear
what's-
contacts.
Hey, y'all stay off my friend. Stay off my friend.
I mean,
No
woo,
shade to Glenn.
no
but,
shade to Glenn, but you know.
Well, speaking of our supervisor of elections,
Yes.
he has been marvelous no matter where he's gone, and once again, he's doing a marvelous job. And that is, are y'all familiar with the OC Vote grant program?
I think he mentioned that at the event.
He did.
Very briefly, but I did not know about
Well,
it.
the general and I'm gonna go ahead and reference the general. Greg and I, we're always talking about 30 days before election takes place. And Sheryl, you've been in this conversation before, because we're all critical. I mean, let's don't shade it, but
Right.
30 days before an election, sometimes 60 days. And here's how we are. I'm gonna speak for myself. Highly critical that the black community will see some new person hitting the ground 30 days, 60 days before an election saying, hey, hi, I'm here to tell you who to vote for. Not just to vote, who to vote for. Well, this grant program is something very unique. Never heard of it throughout the country, and hats off and kudos to Glenn Gelzine. But OC Vote is voter outreach, training, and engagement. And guess what? It's not just taking place 30 days or 60 days before an election. This is something that's going to take place year round. It's not telling you who to vote for all year long.
All year long.
But guess what? Guess who can apply for it? I'm gonna let y'all read. This is pop quiz. Who can apply for this grant, y'all? Anybody. You say that again. Anybody. Not for profits. And we're encouraging faith-based organizations. Y'all remember when it used to be sold to the polls?
Yes.
And you knew when it was
part of that.
but you knew when it was election time because you knew you had that special guest
Absolutely.
at the church.
At the church.
At the church.
Always at the church.
And and they don't do that anymore. Actually, it's very rare that you get those special guests that come and they talk about their platform, they talk about the commitment to the community and what they have done and what they're going to do.
Sometimes
and
for the first time.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go there.
Ooh. You know what's happening here with you? When Sheryl guest hosts this, when the general and I both are going, and he asks those questions, because here's the question that Greg and I often ask. We have all these candidates that come on the show, and y'all know somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. What happens to those candidates that said all these great things about what they were going to do in the community? What happens to them when they're unsuccessful at winning? Where do they go? Y'all remember them shows? Where are they now?
Yes. Where are they now? And you know what? That's a really great comment. Where are they? Because I think if you are a servant leader, a community activist, a position doesn't and a platform doesn't stop you.
Right.
So there are still ways that you can, from a grass level route, you can still do what you need to do. You can still attend meetings. You can still help engage people. So you don't have to stop. If you didn't get the position, okay, well, next time. But that doesn't mean that your mission and your commitment to the community should change.
Right.
Wow, you're right.
If you truly have a servant's heart, that's a stumbling block.
You're right.
That's just a stumbling. I think probably one of the things that I see, especially living in the suburb of Orlando, is
come on, don't be just saying no suburbs. We live in the second largest municipality.
well, you know, shout out to the APK.
APK?
But it's getting folks to city council meetings.
Yeah.
That's really a driver of what happens, not just in your city, but sometimes it has a tangential effect at the county level. So those times and dates are posted on the website. Taking Apopka, for example, it comes out in that little newsletter when we get
your bill.
We get your water bill. It's in there, and it's also live on the website, and it will tell you if it's closed or open to the public.
But now that you've gone down that path, I'm gonna keep you on that path. Can you, just go ahead and speak to the economic impact of, I'm gonna just say it, of black folk not showing up to city council or county council or county commission meetings? Talk about the economic impact or the absence of it. Yeah, both of y'all. Don't everybody just don't rush to talk about it.
Yeah, it's huge because they don't hear our voice.
Right.
What concerns us that may not concern the next person, that may not look like us, it's not taken into consideration. It's not at all accounted for. What the needs of that community or of that household is. It's just not a part of the equation.
And what you really nicely said was, the squeaky wheel
gets the oil.
Gets the oil.
Yeah.
And if you you know how we say we have not because
We ask not. Yeah.
Ooh, closed mouths don't get fed.
Y'all finna go to
All
old
of that.
school on me. Yeah.
all of that. So, you know, I think presence, participation, being engaged, are they exciting? Yeah.
No, they're not.
No.
But
you know.
but what do they yield? I mean, I'm gonna push us a little deeper in that swimming pool if y'all don't mind.
Okay.
But you know, let's talk about those contracts that the city of Orlando and Orange County government has that, and I hate to use the expression they set aside, but there's your minority business enterprise piece
Correct.
that they have the expectation that Hispanic businesses, African American businesses, regular traditional Anglo-Saxon businesses are gonna get their percent of those contracting dollars. Those, and by the way, y'all, those contracting dollars are taxpayer dollars, by the way.
Right.
But if you look at the productivity of our Hispanic brothers and sisters and how they're reaping the benefits and taking advantage of these opportunities, they're doing a great job.
And not for nothing, in part because they have a strong chamber of commerce.
Oh yeah,
Very.
oh yeah. Say that again, and don't be like saying it whispering. Say it again.
They have strong backing and participation in their chamber of commerce.
And you know what happens in that chamber of commerce? A lot of networking. And both of y'all, y'all said it. A lot of situations and times is that we have not because we ask not. And then my father-in-law, who happens to be a preacher, he goes old school, and one of y'all said this too. A closed mouth doesn't get fed.
It doesn't get fed.
But how do we fix this problem? See, y'all making me, I was gonna let people know that the Orange County voting grants, you can get a $1,000 grant, you can get a $2,000 grant, you can get a $10,000 grant, you can get a $25,000 grant, and a $75,000 grant. Faith-based organizations, sororities, fraternities, civic organizations, not-for-profit organizations. But what you cannot do is you cannot apply for this money if you're a special interest group that's advocating for candidates. No,
Right.
this is education.
Right.
But I'm gonna hit the reverse button because y'all got us in this groove. How do we fix this issue real specifically? And sometimes we're afraid to say these words that we know are so obvious, but for black folk, how do we figure out how to work better together? And yeah, we're not gonna always agree, but guess what? I know you were getting tired of me saying, Miss Jennifer, what are we doing here? What are we doing there? I showed up at the venue and I get ready to touch a chair, to move a chair out of the way. She said, none of my clients do any work around here. I love that part. But you know what? We are gonna have differences. How do we get ourselves to where maybe it's not my time to get a piece of the pie? Maybe I need to support another
Right.
black business so that they can get their
Right.
piece of the pie, set the road for me to travel. And Paul Billings, who puts on the Heart and Soul.
Heart and Soul Festival.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't do a shout out to Paul.
What,
Yes,
Paul?
Yeah.
Paul, yes.
Oh, we didn't do a shout out to John Covington as well.
John Covington, yes, an amazing producer.
Yeah,
Yes.
but Paul Billings, who this was
Yeah.
his 4th year.
Yeah.
You have you were talking about him earlier. Puts on Cigar Fest.
Oh, Ernest.
Ernest,
Hi,
yeah.
Ernest Wilson,
Yeah.
my friend.
And Ernest brings big events to
Yes.
Orlando. And I know, I was a former Orange County Commissioner, that the tourist development tax dollars are created so that we can bring people into Florida. Well, I think, you know what? I'm not going to use the word think. Paul has data. Ernest has data. That data need to be going to the desk of sitting down with somebody in Orange County
Correct.
government to say, hey, I'm just not a startup. Here's my proof of concept. We
Right.
gotta put this in business terms, but there is no way possible that Paul is bringing 3,000, 4,000 people
Right.
to the Apopka Amphitheater. This is the 4th year. Ernest and the events that he brings. Come on,
Right.
give me a break.
And not just Orlando Cigar Fest, but Orlando Music Festival.
Yes.
We'll be
He does
going
do
from a
that.
1 day to a 2 day event, starting next year.
So I take y'all back to my question. And I know it's not an easy one, but, and I know, yes, I'm gonna be under fire. Some of y'all gonna come at me, but I'm built to last for this kind of stuff. But how do we have conversations with us about how do we fortify ourselves? How do we get behind each other so that other folk can kind of pave the way, and it may not be my turn right now.
Right. Well, that's one thing, is getting past the part that it's not my turn. But you should be foundationally solid and grounded and really literally grown enough to be the applause for somebody whose turn it is. I mean,
Yeah.
you first have to be your own best cheerleader, but then what is it taking away from you to cheer for your people?
You're right.
For your people, for our people.
And you know what I've heard, and it took me a couple years to get this right, so hopefully I don't blow it. But a light doesn't lose its light by lighting another light. I'm going to say that in the camera. A light doesn't lose its light by lighting another light. And it took me a while to learn that, but my special beau taught me that years ago, and I would look at him like he was like, oh, okay. But it took time for me to really, one, be able to say it, and then for it to really resonate. It doesn't take anything away from us.
I like that. And it makes the
That's
path
deep.
bright.
That's
it does
deep.
make the pathway
It-
brighter.
it-
It does. It makes the pathway brighter. And I think another thing is that we have to not only be confident in ourselves and so forth, but even when we don't have that confidence in ourselves, we need to be conscious of the people that we have around us.
Right.
Okay? Because you have to know that either having a large crowd doesn't mean anything. It's just a
Right.
large crowd.
Proud.
Right.
But what you need to do is that you need to have your people. You need to have
Right.
your tribe that you've
Your tribe.
identified,
Mhm.
that you know that when you are dragging your bottom or your butt, they're like,
Yeah, and
hello,
holding you
Yeah.
and
accountable.
holding you accountable, and vice versa.
Mhm.
And I think we also need to make it a part of what we need to know. I think you have to just have the desire to know, if I don't do this and I see all of that happening, if I didn't vote, if I didn't participate, I didn't have an opportunity to bring my chair to the table. Your
Right.
vote is your chair to the table.
To the table.
And if you
That's
don't
perfect.
vote, then you lost your space and your place to say
Right.
anything.
You know what, Doc was kind of chiming in earlier, and he was talking about that was deep, but I'm going to go back to what you said again about, and I'm not going to say it the way you said it, but an additional light doesn't make that other light dimmer.
No.
It brightens the way.
Right.
It does.
Just look around us. We
You're,
have
you're right.
lights.
You're right.
So if we only
Exactly.
had one in here, you would know how dark it is. And then as you started adding another one, even inside the
There's a
light,
whole lot of,
there
yeah.
are multiple tiny
That is
lights.
yes.
So
Y'all
imagine
going
when
deep
one
on me.
goes
They going
out.
deep on me, y'all. They going real deep.
You
And you
told
know,
us.
y'all start these kind of conversations that our executive producer, Dr. Light, he'll call me at 10:30 at night and say something real profound, and I'm saying, hey man, I'm about to go take me a shower. Next thing you know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm saying, man, I let you get me into this thing again. Y'all going into some deep conversations. Love it. We're gonna keep this thing going. Miss Jennifer, love what you did for the Florida
Thank
Economic
you for asking
Consortium.
us and for trusting us to do it.
Oh man, I'm gonna trust you again too. We're having conversations about, and I got to give a plug out to Humana Care Plus, Miss Janine.
Yes.
We're gonna be partnering with them to do something for. Matter of fact, all of us live in the second largest municipality in Orange County.
APK.
APK, that's right. So we're going to be, and Miss Jennifer is going to be leading, organizing this for me, and that is a Thanksgiving celebration for senior citizens in the APK. We will be bringing back the Black Men documentary.
It needs to come back.
yeah.
That was huge. I received so many emails.
Can you speak
and
to that
texts.
before you go?
Well, what I heard is, because of the hurricane, and shout out to Central Florida, because we showed up.
Yes.
The day after hurricane, I was taken back as if we did not have this hurricane,
Right.
Rod, we would have fought.
Yes.
We would have ran out of food. I think the bar would have ran out of drinks. I mean, I think when you get the video documentary of the event itself, I think people are going to be surprised how many individuals were still very interested.
Let people know what the capacity is at the Orlando Museum. Let them know what the Eventbrite went up to, and what we had to
Yeah.
cut it off in 3 or 4 days.
We did. The capacity was 250 in the theater. We got to 350 real fast,
Awesome.
real fast. And so we got there so fast that I had to ask Sammy Davis III that we had to prepare for an overflow, and I told them this was the unicorn event. It was a
Yes.
topic that, although it's a topic we've heard, it was just presented in such a way that we have to bring it back. We can't give it away. We have to bring it back because I
yes.
think it resonated with people. And what I really enjoyed about the opportunity to be in the room, and be in the room, meaning women being in the room, is that men felt safe
Yeah.
to actually share. And women were able to sit back and to listen,
Right.
and to not come up with any preconceived notion,
Right.
but the men felt comfortable enough. And I think that has to do with how you and the general set everything up. I think the documentary itself set it up for men to kind of put the guard down. And we got to hear, and they got to come up with their own solution.
Right.
And the panel,
Oh,
you all
panel,
could
panel,
have
come on.
gone for, y'all could have gotten another 45
Do you know who was on the panel?
minutes.
See, she's like Dr. Light. She'll call now she's calling me at 10:30 and opening up a room. But panel, come on, we gotta let her know who was
The
on the
panel
panel.
was, we had Dr. Nelson.
Dr. Randy Nelson, world-renowned expert on community and law enforcement engagement. Who was the next person?
You had John Covington himself, the
With
executive
John-
producer.
of the Black Man documentary.
Commissioner
Makari
Makari
Burns with the
was
city of
there.
Orlando.
And you had the gentleman that was
Admiral Dave.
oh my goodness,
You making me forget now too. Okay, I'm gonna circle back, but we also had Marquise, young guy.
Marquise, yes.
Marquise McKenzie. Everybody brought a perspective, and here's something I want to tell everybody.
And it sounds like from different age demographics.
Yes.
as well.
It was intergenerational on purpose.
Yes.
Because even the documentary was from 21 to 91.
That documentary.
Yes. It's high.
Would
That
make the
was-
audience cry.
Yes.
Let me say this: when you think about the Black Man documentary, I think a lot of people got a perception that it was going to be black men airing their grievances about America. Not even close. Not even close. Hey, y'all know what? You gonna get in trouble with me because you doing like Dr. Light. You opening up that doggone can of worms. So
But that's what we do.
that's what y'all do.
That's what we do because we want our clients and the things that matter to them, their causes, we want to help them deliver that and bring that
Oh, y'all
out.
did that.
So yes, but
Hey.
in everything that we do, we are, it's a cliche to say that we're a cause-based event management company, but really, truly, that's where our purposing is moving towards, and we love it. We absolutely love it.
I love what y'all did for us, and we're gonna be doing more work together.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'll tell you what, y'all, we're going to take a quick break so that we can keep this thing going, but we're celebrating Miss Sheryl, and you about to turn another chapter.
Yes.
So, hey, y'all, stay tuned with Let's Talk Nation. We'll be right back.
Awesome.
Joe's European Quality Auto Repair.
Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, Jaguars, and Porsche. Joe's Quality Auto Repair specializes in European cars. Joe's Quality Auto Repair is located at 1240 State Road, 436 in Altamont Springs. Stop paying a king's ransom for your foreign auto repairs. Call Joe's Quality Auto Repair, mention Let's Talk Nation, and he'll beat certified dealership repair quotes by 30%. Call Joe's Quality Auto Repair at 407-409-6040. Again, 407-409-6040 for the best affordable and guaranteed European auto repairs.
Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Nation. And as you can see, we rocking and we rolling. And, man, I got the man in the studio. Hey, Miss Sheryl, the man came to join us this evening.
I'm
Talking about
pleasantly surprised.
Irv Simpson.
Hey, look, it's not every day you get invited to somebody that's turning, I don't know if these numbers are right, behind their 6th birthday party, and they do a whole podcast. Now, I done been to some parties, a boat ride, made a helicopter ride, but somebody do a whole podcast for their birthday.
For their birthday?
Hey, I ain't a ride.
Hey,
I'm just glad to be a part.
And we're talking serious business. But you know what, Irv? You and I, we talk serious business all the time.
All the time.
Miss Sheryl, guest host, Let's Talk Nation, and we got a chance to surprise her.
Right.
You know, we sprinkle a little seriousness in here, such as voting, election. What do you think? You know, I mean, we got elections coming up. What's your thoughts on that?
Hey, listen, like today, I think it's the first day for us to start early voting.
Oh, sure, he's
and
on point.
this is important. And I seen a post of somebody say, now you got to vote like as if your life depended on it. That's one part. Now you got to vote this year as if your life depended on it, your kids' life depended on it, your grandkids' life depended on it. It is so vital. This election is going to be one of these most important elections ever, I think.
Yeah. Ms. Sheryl, I mean, you were talking about it earlier, talking about early voting and things of that nature. This guy has been going to the faith-based circuit with me for the last 2 weeks. And you know what? You were talking earlier about black folk not showing up at city commission or county commission meetings.
Right.
Irv and I have known each other, how long now? Maybe a year socialized.
Right.
And they don't even have to show up because a lot of them are streamed live.
Yeah.
You don't even have to leave your home.
You're right. But I got to tell you, from a commitment standpoint, from a brotherhood standpoint, I don't know, Irv, we just thought, and by the way, man, I don't like the fact that you come up in here looking like Superfly. You know?
And you know what? This was one of the days.
Oh yeah.
Hey, don't act like y'all don't see the shoe game. Don't play. It's her birthday, but don't. Hey, you give me a minute, I'm gonna show you something. You know what I'm saying?
Come up here. Hey, Doc Polite, man. Come on, what's up with this, man? Come up in here looking like Superfly.
Hey, bro. Hey, I was on my way to my podcast.
Oh,
I'm on every Monday night. You know, me and these guys, we get together, we do our podcast, going on 4 years, only 3,000 followers, but we growing. You know, we doing it. And for politics season, I mean, we done had a host of people on there, everybody that's running. And every Monday night at 7 o'clock, they live right now. They talking about me right now, and they're saying, Irv is on his way, but he's going to be on time. But he's going to be late because I'm always late. So,
you know the Marines always late to something.
So even when I get there tonight, you know.
Hey, man, come on now.
That sound like that other armed force guy. Do you?
That's Doc Polite. Doc was, what y'all call Army people? Doc was in the Army.
They just grenade. They count grenades. He probably just count ammo. They let Doc. You still count grenades or bullets?
No, that's what Marines do.
That's what see, that's a jab back. Hey, but you know what? Speaking of man, y'all making me cry here. Hey, speaking of Marines, Irv and I have had the distinguished honor and privilege to be advocating for a friend of ours who has been showing up in the black community. I mean, a lot of times we're asking folk that say, hey, these folk ain't doing nothing for us. And Irv and I would ask them the question, well, have you asked them? Have you just...
don't ask me. Ask him. He's been showing up. Hey, he's been showing up, and we make no boast about it. Ask him. Tell him exactly what you want. It's exactly what you need in your community. And he's the only Marine. Sheriff Lima.
Yeah.
Marine also.
We didn't even say who we talking about, Irv. We're talking about House Representative David Smith, House District 38. And when I say this guy has been going into the black community, speaking to the black churches, asking people, what are some of your needs? What's some of your concerns? And amazing enough, Irv and I, folk come to us and say, hey, we don't like this, we don't like that, our community's not safe, and they won't give us this. And Irv and I would say, who is they, first of all? Who is they? And then we say, have you ever talked to they? And they were like, Irv, really? I mean, are we lying?
Right. No, I mean, the biggest part is when he come into the black community, wherever I've seen, first thing he says is, after he says his name and who he is, he's the man in charge of the money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey.
So he ain't saying, no, Rod's the brain behind the operation. He's the money. So whatever you need, I mean,
he said that with no reservation.
Hey, no hesitation. He said it.
Hey, Irv, before, because I know you got a shootout and we're going to take a break. But
my helicopter is on top of the roof and it's still warmed up. So I hope not to serve the nation. Yeah. We'll come back and get you and take you on a birthday ride when we come back.
Hey, but yeah, you're right. But you know what, Irv? Here's the time that, and I'll go ahead and be critical, and Sheryl heard me say it earlier. These are some times, and it ain't no shame. You're not what your political affiliation is. That doesn't make me.
Correct.
And I just so happen to be a Republican.
Correct.
Our friend is going into the black community saying, how can I help you? And you just mentioned that.
Correct.
And I'm talking about, again, Representative David Smith. Now, you all have a project, and give a shout out to the city manager with Altamont Springs, Frank.
Correct.
What's Frank?
Frank Marks, he's the city manager.
And Frank is doing a great job. Frank has been showing up at places. And you guys got a project that's taking place at what, community center?
Yeah, it's gonna be the redevelopment of Rosenwald, one of the Rosenwald schools, which is a historical school over in East Altamont. And one of the things I like the fact that, and I say it all the
This
time.
joke
in
is
my
doing
monthly
podcast,
meetings.
but he's not looking at the camera.
Oh,
But go ahead.
I'm sorry, man. That's just how I talk. I don't want to take over the show. I want them to kind of look at Sheryl, but it's still our birthday.
Oh, you trying to look at Sheryl?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying. Well, don't get it started, man. Okay, but we got a project going on in East Altamont, the Rosenwald School, and it's going to be a redevelopment of this school that pretty much my whole neighborhood grew up under. And they've finally torn it down, and the county is taking responsibility for it. And they're gonna build a community center, which is the neighborhood I grew up in was all black, but now it's a multicultural neighborhood, which we all love, and it's gonna have so many pieces to it, and everybody's gonna be able to benefit from it. And I attend all the meetings, and I ask, when am I gonna see the first bulldozer? When are we gonna get the first tractor? Let's get some dirt going. Let's get some building, because there's some folks that I really want to see started this project long before I got back in 2012, 2013. They've been on this for like 20 years, and I really like to see that project done, and they get the benefit from it, before they pass.
I can work with this brother.
Yeah.
Sure, I can work with this brother. I know you got to run, and I believe in giving credit where credit is due. We've talked about Representative David Smith, District 38. When you talk about the county getting involved, and we're talking about Seminole County, our good friend, Commissioner Bob DeLaure, and I saw he was championing issues as the storm approached. I mean, this guy, there's no substitute for leadership when you look at him. We both talked about Sheriff Dennis Lima.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is just phenomenal, man.
That's my boy. He the only man I think look better than me. I tell him that every time I see him. I say, Sheriff, you a good looking man. I'm glad I'm secure in my manhood.
Do you hear this guy?
And I tell him, Sheriff, you need to go on that side of the room. You work that side, I work this side.
You know the Marines trisexuals, right?
Hey, get out of here, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, but Sheriff Lima, and you mentioned he's a Marine as well. But man, these are leaders that we're talking about that their work speaks for them.
Absolutely.
And Irv, man, I look forward to continuously working with you, man. And we've hit the ground running, man. I mean, those faith-based organizations that we've been at, they have told us what some of the issues are. The only critique that I'm gonna give of that, and Irv, you and I had this conversation.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Michelle, we were talking about it as well. Hey, let's get behind. Sometimes it's not somebody else's time to jump the line with a totally different subject or need. We're paving the way so that everybody can be involved. And what I'm talking about is responsible fatherhood.
Right.
You see, Marlo gave the shout out, happy birthday, all right?
Hey,
Monique.
Mo.
Hey, book. Hey, see, all these folks, they love you. And I'm not gonna go back to Monique because we were talking about the woo, but
We got to go to a whole new show.
we gotta go to the whole.
new segment.
Mo will call in.
We need some time.
And she don't know that this is a time show.
Don't get us started.
But-
Don't get my girl started.
But if we can get behind each other, and Doc Polite does a lot of the marketing and advertisement, a lot of the promos that people have seen when it relates to responsible fatherhood, which is an initiative that's taking place in Orange County. Bishop Derek McCrae with the Experience Christian Center is the subcontract for working with men in Orange County. Pernell Bush, and I know you know Pernell, with No Limits Education, No Limits Counseling and Education in Seminole County. Our partnership and relationship with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Lima, he opened the door and said, come on in, we need this. I'm looking for Orange County, and we have some meetings set up with Orange County. Come on, we got to figure out how do we work together better.
Correct. You know what, Rod? One thing I say on our podcast, and I've been saying it for a while, and I said it last week. If they stop thinking all Democrats are black
Mm-hmm.
and poor, and all Republicans are white and rich, we're gonna get somewhere.
You're right.
Right.
Don't worry about whether you're a Democrat or Republican. Vote for the person that's gonna do the right job for everyone.
That has your interest. You're right.
I'm a wholehearted Democrat, but I've been pushing and voting for the right person for the job. That's how our podcast got started. For Sheriff Lima, that I knew was a Republican, but it was a no-brainer. I knew what he had done for my community.
Yeah.
I know what Representative Smith is talking about doing for my community. So it's all, when you put your signature behind the person for the right job, you can't go wrong, man.
You can't go wrong.
Can't
Well,
go wrong.
you know what? I know you have to get out of here, and I'm gonna wear my Superfly outfit next time because
This ain't even Superfly, bro. This regular. This regular. I knew there was an Army guy somewhere.
You knew it was an Army guy? You knew Dr. Light was somewhere?
Yeah, I know he. You know them Army guys, man. They out of control right now. So this is just regular.
Well, man, well, tell you what, this regular. Let me bring this thing in for a landing, and I'm gonna ask you like I asked Miss Jennifer. If you had to give a birthday wish to our good friend, what would that wish be?
What would I wish for?
I think you got that.
I'm about to say.
Rephrase.
Yeah, we can rephrase. Hey,
Give Sheryl a birthday wish. Go on it.
Oh, okay.
Wish her happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Say
Dr.
it that
Light,
way.
he making me
What?
sweat.
I was about to say she ain't gonna throw that ring at the TV screen at the radio. Be like, I can't come home. I'm like, he asked me the question. And she all in here in her Superfly act me like what?
Now that's Cleopatra Jones out.
Who is? Well, ask me what I want. I thought you said that went on my head, bro. I thought you said what I want for my birthday. It's sit right here. But never
How your
mind.
friends do.
Boy, you.
Happy birthday, Sheryl.
Hey y'all, this is my cue to go to a commercial break. Hey, but
man.
hey, we appreciate you coming in, man, and you're gonna be back.
And I came over on the regular helicopter. Now I'm about to go on the Black Hawk because I'm already late, man.
Hey, but you served a great cause, man, and once
Absolutely.
again, we're gonna do more together. Hey, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with you.
Every day, black men face a silent battle, a struggle to prove they can rise above society's expectations. The weight of stereotypes, the pressure to succeed while carrying the hopes of generations before us. The weight feeling much heavier. But deep inside, we know our worth. We fight not just for survival, but to fulfill our true potential. Because greatness isn't given, it's earned.
You could see things in me. I mean, I saw things in you. And I feel like you let them slip away.
Black men, real growth begins when we open up. Talking about life's challenges strengthens our manhood and fatherhood. There's no shame in speaking up, it's how we grow together.
Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Nation, and I hope y'all having as much fun as we're having, because man, folk cutting up tonight on this special occasion. Hey, Miss Sheryl, I'm enjoying myself. We gotta like synchronize this so every year when your birthday comes around, because this just happened to be because we got leap year in there and all that other kind of
Right.
stuff. So this is just the day before your birthday.
Right. It's the
And,
day before.
and Miss Antoinette, folk been coming in here cutting up.
All right.
But speaking of cutting up, it's your turn to cut up.
All right.
We have Miss Antoinette joining us this evening. And Miss Antoinette, what's your last name again?
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Antoinette Marie Lawson Jenkins, as my daughter always says.
As your as your daughter always say, that's when our parents used to call us the whole name. That's when you knew you were in trouble. But let me ask you this: give us a little brief history on your familiarity with Miss Sheryl.
Miss Sheryl. So first of all, I want to say I give honor to God for you being my big sister, for Him allowing you to come into my life. When I met Sheryl, I had just moved from New York. It was 5 days before 9/11. And I had no family, I had no friends. And when God gives you a vision, He definitely gives you provision. And I said, I don't know anyone here. I happened to meet Sheryl. We were on an outing. I don't remember where. We had so many. And she immediately took me as her little sister. And let me tell you why I was able to be her little sister. Miss Sheryl is a phenomenal woman. Educated, classy. She has decorum. She has sophistication. So I met the list.
You met, okay.
My little savvy self from New York came in and she saw something in me. She saw I had a brain. She saw I could converse and keep up with the dialect with her.
And she'll certainly tell you when you can't. She'll tell you when you can't.
And I could dress. I had the fashion sense because my sister, she should have been in Ebony or Essence or back in the day Barbizon because she is every woman.
Yes.
You really took it back with Barbizon. That used to be right down the street.
Yeah, my mother was a model with Barbizon. So when I saw you, I just saw this mahogany vision, this beautiful black woman who, I always tell my granddaughter, you don't step from a girl to a woman. You come into different women and you pull something from them. And I was so thankful to pull from my sister, and I still pull from you.
Well, you know what? You up here, boy, I tell you opening up some doors, and we're gonna open up this door for a second. And I want you to go with me on this. First, you said grandkids, and I'm like, oh, your grandmama?
Yes.
So first, I'm gonna plant that. But when you talk about she opened up her arms and she welcomed you and she let you be her little sister, you know what that is? That's resonating from the standpoint of a person actually taking somebody underneath their wing and helping guide. And I think when we look at what's taking place today, I don't see a whole lot of that taking place, and we got to get back to that.
Right, bridging the gap.
Bridging the gap.
Sisterhood. She never was messy, petty, jealous, envious. She was open. She was willing to whatever she had to share with me. Thank you for that.
I see the love. I see the love.
And remember, she is definitely an advocate. She started Breast Friends. Many people don't know Sheryl's history with cancer. And I don't want to pull a Band-Aid off a sore, but our sister brought us together with the sisterhood, with Breast Friends. We would go do the walks. We would all share our stories. We would learn from her. We would cry together, pray together, and you could feel the sisterhood. Yeah. We were all one body, one accord. So I love that about her. It was no division. It was no you're this or you're that. It was just breast friends. We all have two, and we were breast friends.
But you know, I love that sisterhood that y'all have. I mean, I've known Miss Sheryl 30. I say 30. She say 30 plus. She like to do that because, you know, she has an age, and you can see I put on a little bit. But anyway, I love that sisterhood. And, you know, we were talking about the Black Man documentary film that took place a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Those men felt themselves in a safe place to where finally did something that y'all do all the time with supporting one another. And I'm listening to this conversation about this sisterhood, this love, this protection that Sheryl exhibited to you, and you embraced it. You used some words, some powerful words. There was no envy.
Right.
Y'all embraced.
Right.
And man, I'm gonna look at the camera and I'm gonna say this to the brothers. We're accustomed to being gladiators. But there's something that if you just use common logic, even gladiators, we have to put our shield down sometime. Yeah. And what you all are doing, and I mean, we talked about you. We talked about Monique. Monique is a survivor as well.
Yes, Women of Orlando.
Women of Orlando.
That's my big sister too.
Women of Orlando. But guess what? We are looking at what y'all doing.
Right.
And I'm hoping that, you know, we brought the Black Man documentary to town 2 weeks ago. We had it a day or so after the storm.
Right.
We had overcapacity, and I think we had about 165 people show up, but we had almost 400 RSVPs.
Okay.
You women have been the backbone, and I'm gonna just say it, for our community, in particular for Black men, for decades. Yes. We gotta eventually pick up, and we gotta, it's all right to be the gladiators, but we gotta make our own safe space so that we can have the conversations about family, about careers, about protecting our families and our communities.
And a woman.
You said that right.
And a woman. And now that's protecting them. Because, kind of to piggyback on, we're the mothers. So we're the mother to the children. And men will call it nagging. But we're being protective when we say, honey, did you do this? Honey, you need to do that. Like, I just made 6 doctor's appointments for my husband because that's my king.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure his health is healthy. He's here for me. He's here for his grandchildren. He's here for himself also. And when you have these conversations with the men coming together, the brotherhood, then at some point, the sisters need to sit down with the men because we need to bring our families back.
You're right.
You really do.
You're opening up a box that is past due for us to have a conversation about.
Go back to basics.
But I will say this. I will say, and I'm not even going to mention it, because when you mention one name, you're going to forget a whole bunch of other folks. But a lot of brothers out there that I'm familiar with, they've taken those small baby steps, if you would, to bring the brothers together. And some of the things that we talked about tonight, I know some of y'all going to be at me for having conversation about the fact that black contracting is not where it should be. Looking at the city, looking at the state, looking at the county. And when you look at Hispanic brothers and sisters, man, y'all doing a fabulous job with the unity that you have with one another to actually meet and exceed those benchmarks of getting government contracts.
Right. And you know what, before coming here, I was looking at the Democratic strategists at the presidential level. And one of the things he said that, shout out to my sis Tesla Figaro, that her and Doc Polite, and we always talk about the ground game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, coming from a Jewish man, in that space, you realize it is the same.
Yeah.
He talked about the ground game for the Harris, election strategy, and his thoughts in comparison to the Trump strategy, and that's really what it is at every level.
The ground game.
It's the ground game. And in this context, not who has the best, but who even has it and is pushing it forward.
I'm going to say this, and we were talking about this earlier. For decades, we were just trying to encourage black folk to go vote.
Right.
To go vote for decades. And I don't mean to open this up to start controversy.
Right.
But now there's a party that are reaching out to black men like never before. I've never seen this outreach to black men. Matter of fact, black women, 34,000 of y'all to be a little bit more specific, made a decision two governor campaigns ago, if you would, that y'all said no, you didn't want anybody telling y'all where you can send your kids to be educated.
Right.
Y'all voted for school choice. 34,000 of y'all.
Right.
Well, now fast forward, and what I'm saying to folks is if you don't do nothing else, at least go vote. The same message we've been talking about for decades. Right. But now, when that is being said, folks are saying vote pigmentation instead of policy.
Right.
I don't agree with that.
Right.
Brothers, sisters, get out and vote. I ain't gonna tell you who to vote for.
Right.
But it's all gonna come down to, like y'all just said, the ground game.
Right.
And I'll be the first to say, Republican Party, there's an opportunity out there. There's a missed opportunity that I see where we used to talk about how big this tent was for everybody to come under. Well, you can't talk about a tent being that big if every time you say something, it's insulting somebody you're inviting underneath the tent. But I will say, Irv and I, we took some of those same people that say they never get anything, they never have a conversation with somebody in the other party.
Right.
And Representative Dave Smith went and was having a conversation. What do you need?
Right.
How do you feel about your community being safe?
And
what can I do?
And backed up the offer.
Right.
And backed up,
By making it an actionable question, not an empty or an open-ended question, and then you never see or hear from them again.
Boy, and when he told everybody. He said, hey, look, I sit on these committees. I'm the money man.
Mhm.
Tell me, when are you gonna have somebody come into your community telling you that?
Right.
So, yeah, man, I'm all for it. And we were talking about open and closed primary. Sheryl, come on now, you the guest host. Have a comment. Tell folks.
Well, I think as it pertains to your ballot, you know, people have to understand when and when you cannot vote outside of your
Party.
registered
Mhm.
party.
Mhm.
In this case for Florida, we're closed.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you have to vote within your registered party. If we were a state that were open, then you could vote across lines. So sometimes you'll hear or see.
And those are in the primaries.
Right.
The
in the
general
primaries,
is
in
wide
general,
open now.
and
Right.
it's wide open. But what I've seen, and the reason why I brought that up is because there is the term, you know, voting ballot down, in reference to your comment
Mhm,
about, you know, people that don't really do their due diligence. I mean, if you vote ballot down,
Give them, yeah, and see, some folk might be saying, what is down ballot?
What does that
Well,
mean?
well, when you are looking at the top of the ticket, and
Oh,
yeah, there are
here's
some
the
people that
sample ballot.
got your sample, but there are some people who say, okay, I'm a D or I'm a R, and they
Yeah.
start at the top and they go all the way down.
It's
And you
30
just go all the
questions.
way.
Yes.
This is not a C answer, everybody. You need to read. Reading is fundamental. You need to research, as we say, Google.
That's it.
Google
Mhm.
will help you a
That
lot.
Google something else.
Right. Right.
The
That's
young
what this is
lady
for.
out there, she gave me something about a 411 you could put in, and you put in your zip code, and
It'll tell you all of
Right.
your representatives.
So I'm
and
gonna post that once we get out of here with some instructions, since I was a teacher, with screenshots, so you can do step by step. Because they're like, how do you do this? Because people don't read.
Miss Antoinette, let me ask you. We're here celebrating a birthday, but we still talking business. And that's what I love about
It's
these
always
kind of yeah.
business, as usual. As we say in New York, you want to be ready, not get ready.
Boy, go ahead, girl.
So and you have to, because these are some perilous times.
Yeah.
I don't want to get scriptured or biblical, but we need to go back to basics. I keep saying we need to go back to basics. And anyone that was raised in the 60s, 70s era, borderline 80s, you know what basic means. Have common sense. Sense is common. Do what's right. Do what you're supposed to do for yourself. Do what you're supposed to do for your community
She a preacher.
and your family.
She a preacher.
I'm Mary Lewis's granddaughter. I'm gonna tell you what it is. You know, so let your light shine through. Don't be unapologetic. If you know it's right, stand up in your truth. I don't care what it is. You just close your eyes and pray. Cover yourself from head to toe and walk forth in your faith. Work forth in your truth. Because I don't want to get religious or anything.
No,
Just
you can't. Hey,
truth is
amen.
truth.
Hey, amen.
Truth is truth. And as we say, the truth knocks the brains out of falsehood. Don't be unapologetic.
Say it again.
2025. Truth knocks the brains out of falsehood. Don't be apologetic. And again, don't co-sign for foolishness.
That's right.
And I've been saying that a lot. If you see your friend doing something wrong or your family member, use etiquette, use couth, use your diction. Let them know. If you gotta text them, write them a letter, but don't sign for don't co-sign for foolishness, because you will be also a part of foolishness if you don't stop it.
So you're gonna give the example of that foolery, and I'm gonna give you that example. Hey, and I'm gonna go to the extreme where it's gonna wake folk up. And what you're talking about, you got folk that's hiding right now because he did it. And when that prosecutor got out there and said, for those that participated,
You are guilty.
but not just that. He said, we're coming for you. But then he said, for those of you who stood by
Right.
and watched this take place, you're just as equally.
Yes. And 9 out of 10, if you see in the law or the judicial system, the person who did the crime gets less years than the person who was an assassin.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm gonna just say
And
allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly.
did the crime.
So we won't
Yeah.
have the general.
Yeah. The general done taught us well.
And you,
Allegedly.
Right. And you like, why they got so many years when they wasn't the actual person that did it?
Yes.
Because that's just the way the Lord said. So they coming for you guys.
Yeah, right.
Coming.
Miss Antoinette, let me do this because boy, we're having we're having a good time. But just like I asked everybody else, and you're putting us all to shame because you came in here with a present. But I'm gonna go ahead and yield to you before we go to another break. You got a special presentation that you'd like to
I
make.
have a present for my sister because she's such a classy woman. I bought her coffee mug with her spoon in her satin velvet cup because she's such classy. Happy birthday, beautiful, and red is her favorite color.
Hey, thank you, Armando. Let me hear that again, because go ahead, Armando. That is nice.
Well, I'm not a coffee drinker. I drink tea.
Well, you can put your tea.
Yeah, you can put your tea in there.
But this is what I love.
The little spoon.
That's why I said tea.
Hey, look how fancy that is. Look, what is that, silk or something in there?
She's fancy.
Oh, look at that. Hey, what is that, a top to it, too?
Yeah, she has the top and everything to go to.
So see, to steep the tea, it even has
Oh,
a
okay.
little opening.
Boy, I tell you. Hey, for those of you who want to send Let's Talk Nation a coffee mug, we'll gladly take it. Hey, Miss Antoinette, I have to say to you,
It's full coffee click. Since he brought that up.
Oh, hey, way to go ahead and do the endorsements here. What is Cool Coffee?
Well, that's for my health and wellness business.
Well, go ahead and get yourself a plug.
And I also have a Trust God Sis ribbon t-shirt for you. I gotta get your size. I didn't want to assume.
I know that's from your business.
You're entrepreneur?
I said thank
Yes.
you.
Oh, you're an entrepreneur? You say that's from
Yes.
All right, well, come on.
My daughter is as well. That's where the shirt is going to come.
Hey, you better take this time and use it.
So Trust God Sis, go on Sharon Lucas, our visionary CEO. On Facebook, we are on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok. Y'all know those medias.
You know I'm all about supporting black business.
Okay, and once again, the business is what?
Trust God Sis Apparel. Because who's going to check us? No one, boo.
I like. Hey, y'all, we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and once again, thank you for coming
You're
in.
welcome. Thank you for having me. And vote, vote, vote. Say your prayer, be unapologetic, and go vote. Because one quick thing, there's a law that every 25 years, just for us to vote, which is crazy, they have to vote to say we can vote. And that law should be banned. So Google that and do your research.
Well, it sounds like we got another movement that we need to be getting
Yes.
behind. Hey, y'all, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
We're asking cops to do too much in this country. We are. We're just asking us to do too much. Every societal failure, we put it off on the cops to solve. Not enough mental health funding. Let the cop handle it. Not enough drug addiction funding. Let's give it to the cops. Here in Dallas, we got a loose dog problem. Let's have the cops chase loose dogs. Schools fail. Give it to the cops. 70% of the African American community is being raised by single women. Let's give it to the cops to solve that as well. That's too much to ask. Policing was never meant to solve all those problems. And I just ask for other parts of our democracy, along with the free press, to help us. To help us and not put that burden all on law enforcement to resolve.
Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Nation, and as y'all can see, there's a whole lot of love that's going around for Miss Sheryl tonight on Let's Talk Nation. And you know what? I cannot leave the general out. Attorney Greg Jackson is on special assignment tonight, but boy, he just don't know how much fun he has been missing. And y'all had some food out there, man, earlier?
I'm gonna try to get, but
well, y'all better.
I see some empty plates out
Man,
there.
y'all better. Hey,
Some good stuff.
we're here and we talking serious business, but we're also celebrating Miss Sheryl and them numbers back there. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
What? Hey,
Really?
nine. Oh, you say it's 9? Hey.
You make it look good.
Yeah. Hey, you know what she said? She said you need to put them numbers, put that 0 before the 6. But then I say, no. You got the grown men up in here. Hey, but you know what? We have Bernard and Carlos in the studio with us. Y'all familiar with Sheryl and the fact that she's guest host Let's Talk Nation quite a few times. She know how to talk trash like us all the time.
Really?
Good for it.
all the time.
But with a smile.
But with a smile. And you know, did y'all see the black Superfly that came in here and had to run to his podcast?
Oh yeah, Mr.
Herb. Yeah.
Mr. Simpson.
I said, man, what is wrong with you coming up in here? Man, you gonna make me, hey, Halloween right around the corner.
Good stuff.
Hey, but hey, y'all, we've been talking about voting. We've been talking about the unity of us. And by the way, let me say a special thank you to Bernard and Carlos. We talked about the Black Man documentary. I didn't have to call but once, and it really wasn't a phone call. It was almost like a text saying, I need help, brother. I need some volunteers to help be ushers for this event. Man, them jokers was there, had their Wolfpack shirts on. Hey, and I'm gonna keep saying this. I don't have my Wolfpack shirt yet, Miss Sheryl.
I got you.
But no, we're gonna start with you, man. You're in so many spaces and places in the community. Yeah, folk love to hear us talk jive and talk trash, but we got that serious side of doing things in communities. And you know, you had me volunteering in Sanford.
Oh yes.
Come on, Bernard, tell people what else
Yeah.
you're doing, man.
We do a lot of outreach, especially for the Wolfpack, dealing with homeless kids, disprivileged kids in the community. Like, we try to give back.
Hey, speaking of give back, can you give me that jacket back?
Oh, you can have it.
Okay. Yes. Oh, yeah.
You can have it.
but I'm sorry, man, but you just so clean, man. You like the doggone Department of Health over there. But anyway, you're working with kids, man.
Yeah, well, we're getting into that figure part.
Okay.
Right now, it's just more giving back to the families, underprivileged kids, or whether it's shoes, clothes. Christmas is coming up. We're gonna have an event especially for kids. Give back. I think you and I both talking about cohabitating on it.
Well, on that note, though, because that is coming up, and I know Carlos and the Wolfpack have been very aggressive, if you would, with getting the things that kids need, that family needs during Christmas. The back to school stuff that y'all been doing. I mean, this is serious business.
Yeah.
You know, you had a cigar club as well, and I've been to some of those events. When you ask brothers to bring socks, bring tennis shoes, them bins are full.
Correct.
Those bins are full. So it's just not a social outing.
No.
It's about business. And so
About giving back to our community.
Giving back to the community, but look at that camera with that red light, man, and tell people about what you need for the Christmas event that's coming up.
Christmas events, we're looking for toys that's probably about $20 or donations, $20, to where we can go and take care of 2 or 3 kids, take them shopping, or even more if the money's right. Where we can take kids out, have a good time, make sure that their Christmas is something special for them, not just whining and crying because they didn't get anything. Although Christmas is not just for toys.
I'm glad you said
but
that.
At least so they can have a wonderful time just like any other kid.
And can you tell them if there's an age
for those toys,
range
age range?
for the
Right.
toys?
Really, with that, we're not doing any age, only because it's for any and every
Because the
kid.
babies want something too.
They're always going to get
boys and girls.
Right, boys and girls. It doesn't matter. I'm not looking at any age. We're just looking at trying to give back to the community.
So let me ask this: if I don't want you to give your personal information out, because, but is there a link or a Cash App? And if not, they can call my office if you don't have that with you right now.
Carlos.
Yeah, we do have one. I don't have that, but what we'll do is get that to you.
Okay.
We
do have
one.
one.
We had it set up.
All right. So
Is
if
the Wolfpack?
It's Wolfpack, but I can't remember the. I think we had to put some numbers behind it.
Right.
all right. So if you want to donate to the Christmas, and I don't subscribe to giveaways because we're not giving away.
Right.
We have expectations, just like for the school givebacks. I stopped giving backpack supplies away without letting people know that there's a return on investment.
Right.
When you give those school supplies, I want those parents to sign a pledge that, hey, I'm going to work with my kid. I'm going to make sure that the gains that they get from those teachers or the gains that these kids are getting promoted to the next grade. Yes. And I like the fact that you say this Christmas piece, yeah, a lot of people think it's about gifts. No, it's about celebrating. And hey, I'm married to a preacher daughter, but hey, it's about celebrating the man upstairs. But in addition to that, we're trying to help families that may not be in a good situation.
Correct.
And you bring up a good point, because we're fortunate. Some of us are very fortunate, and so it is our duty, it's incumbent upon us to give back to the community. So while we ourselves within the Woodpack are going to give, we also look for the other people in the community to do the same thing, because there's those that are less fortunate. And I think the first year that we did the coat drive or the shoe drive.
Yes, shoe drive.
We did the shoe drive, and it's amazing to see how many kids are coming to school and don't really have decent shoes to wear.
Or socks.
Socks to wear.
Well, on that point, when you talk about that, think about some of these behavioral dysfunction that teachers and administrators think that this kid, he's just not functional whatsoever. But this kid could be one of those same kids that, because they either not eating at home, there's some dysfunction. You live in a community that all you see, unfortunately, is violence. You haven't been diagnosed with PTSD because you don't know that your family don't know you got that. But then something that you say is, kids don't have some basic needs.
Right.
This kid is like, hiding his feet at school because
he's embarrassed.
Yeah, he's not only embarrassed, but he can feel the ground through his shoes he got on.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Right. And so it's important that we do that. And I think when we started our group, the cigar group, that was the first thing that we talked about. Is how much we're going to give back, how much we're going to dedicate ourselves in the community. Because again, you don't just want to give gifts. You don't want to just give to them.
Right.
You want them to see your face.
Right.
They need to see men. They need to see productive women. They need to see that. Because again, when they're at home, they're seeing a whole different life.
Correct.
I want to tell this quick story. I had a buddy that lived in Panama City, and every year, he's a teacher, he would bring them to Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. And he would bring them to Atlanta. He said, Carlos, I want them to see how blacks really live in our society. And so he would bring them there, and we would take them all around the cities and all through these different communities and go, wait a minute, you mean to tell me these are...
The world is bigger than where they're from.
Yeah.
This is how people live. And we said to them, this is how you can live too. You have that same opportunity, but guess what? We're going to sow into your life.
That's it.
To make sure that you have what you need when you need it. And you begin to see that picture. It's not something that you see on MTV or BET anymore. Right. It's something that you can actually feel, touch, and receive yourself. So in our giving back to the community, we also take that time out to have a conversation with those.
And do you hear this conversation?
This is my tribe. That's why they're my people.
Miss Cheryl,
it's my birthday. This is my jam.
We got about 6 minutes. What do you think? I mean, this is your time, but man, I tell you, this is the tribe that you've seen that have given testimony to you tonight. So come on, talk to us.
Yes.
I had a lot of birthdays apparently, but one of the things that, and I give credit to my parents, and you and I had the conversation about, back then, supervisor elections came to the high schools. When you were 18, if you were like me on the late birthday rule and turned 18 while you were still matriculating through high school, you got registered to vote, and then boys were signed up for, selective service.
Right.
So, I remember, and dating myself, obviously, my parents took us to Plains, Georgia, when Jimmy Carter was running. And we went into Plains, and everything was, the peanut, because that was the
Peanut
industry back then. And he and Rosalind were there.
Wow.
They were there. He happened to, he was still new, very accessible, very personable, and it was just a bug. And but that's on the national level. But I think on the local level, and I'm gonna say Richard Black. Hey, Rich. He and I and some of our friend circle, when Jesse Jackson was running and campaigning, and we had his event at West Campus Valencia.
Those great things I've seen.
So that's, you know, but that's just who I am. And so I gravitate, or just been blessed to have people around me that are like-minded without having to have the conversation to be like-minded, because, you know, we did wait. You can't try to
Oh, you're right.
what Raheem
You're right.
says,
You're
one
right.
of my favorite artists. So, you know, it's just a very organic thing. So I appreciate you all.
Well, we appreciate
so
you.
much.
We appreciate you. And this is sort of like the rapid fire.
No.
Bernard, rapid fire with you, man. Birthday wishes for Miss Sheryl. No. You know what? I started with you. Carlos, I'm gonna catch. Hey, he got this Buckeye shirt on right behind me. I'm gonna start with Carlos.
Rapid fire birthday wish. I mean, I wish you many more blessings. I'm glad you came on my little cast that I did and poke your head in. So I'm gonna tell you, I had to show you the same love, no matter what, because all you do is give nothing but love. You exude it, your kindness, and I can always know. If I don't know what type of cigar to smoke, she can pair it in.
She can pair it.
Yes, indeed.
B12 rather.
Miss Sheryl, Miss Walker.
Yes.
May you, like Carlos said, have many more. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoy every minute of it, okay? This is the new 30 now.
This is the new 30. I like that. I like that. I like that, brother.
My knees. After
Don't do that song.
You know, I started a little birthday celebration early, and shout out real quick to the brothers, Titan 9 group, some of which are your fraternity brothers, for River City Smoke Fest. First one out the gate, Ernest was actually up. We said shout out to Ernest earlier. They did a great job. They really did. So I will be meeting with them soon to come on our broadcast, the Smoking Jacket broadcast. So we're going to talk all things libations and cigars.
All
That's
right.
what we do.
All right. So y'all watch this. I got less than 60 seconds, and this is how you do it. The love that you've exuded, like you like to tell everybody you've known me over 30 years, okay, yeah, we get it. That you've been on something and I have not been. But Sheryl, I gotta tell you, everything you heard tonight and your contributions to this conversation, these brothers here, the sisters that been in here, the other, we gotta continue to keep this tribe deal going, and we gotta check each other when we need to be checked. Just don't check me in public. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Pull me to the side.
Right.
But Sheryl, your leadership, how you navigate, how you conversate, and how you show love is something that has continued to be carried with me. And you know what? Keep that same energy. We're going to be behind you, and we're going to also be in front of you when you need those shields. So,
I appreciate it.
happy birthday to you, and we love you.
I love you guys.
Hey, y'all. Y'all don't have to go home, but y'all know how I tell the general. You don't have to go home, but you got to what, Miss Sheryl?
Get out of here.
Hey, till next Monday, happy birthday, Miss Sheryl.